Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys all the books that I've read this year in 2023. So before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Turn your post notifications on so you won't miss a single upload. And let's get into this video. Alright, so in my hands, I have all the books that I've been reading this past year. And they're all right here. So I've been reading most of these books I've read, but there's like 2 or 3 that I have not read yet. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. And I used to be a big reader back in the day when I was younger, but I stopped. And I found this to be such a great hobby. Like when I'm bored, I'll read a book. When I want to, learn new words, I read books because books are knowledge. No matter what you're reading, you can always learn something from it or learn new words. Every time I come across a word in a book that I don't know, I look it up immediately. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you learn something new from books. I love thriller books. I like thriller/love romance books, but like that crazy suspense type of books. So these are mainly suspense books, thriller books, and love romance all in one. Some of them are just love romance books, but I'm not so big into the romance books unless they have some type of suspense to it. A couple of them have that in here. So before I tell you guys about the books, I just want to give a big shout out to the authors of these books. I love Colleen Hoover. I have mainly all her books, and then I have Freida McFadden as well. So I'll show you guys the books that they wrote and tell you my favorites and all that good stuff. If you guys out there are looking for book recommendations, I suggest that you stay tuned for the remaining of this video to see what books I suggest for you guys. So yeah. All right. So let me start with, I got so many. Let me zoom down. I'm going to start with the first book that I read out this whole collection of books. And I give this book a 10 out of 10. Now, this book is from Colleen Hoover. It's called Too Late. Colleen Hoover is a very, very popular author. I've seen her books go viral on social media. Everyone was reading her books. And she has 2 that went viral. I forgot the name, but I'll put it right here. And I never read those 2 books, but I looked into other books that she's wrote, and I seen the cover of this book, and I'm like, I have to get this. And then I read the back of it, and it sounded so good. And it is a pretty thick chapter book, and this is a thriller suspense book as well. So let's see. A psychological suspense novel of obsession and dangerous love. It's so good. I highly recommend this book. This book will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's like a really, really great movie times 10. So I highly suggest this book. This is my first book that I read this year. Now the second book isn't from Colleen Hoover, but this is the Freida McFadden book. It's called The Housemaid. I seen this book from my favorite YouTuber, Chelsea Janae. And she wasn't reading it, but she said that she was gonna read it, and she showed the title and the cover of it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So then my mom, she ordered it on Amazon, and I was like, oh, I want to read it after her. So she said it was a really good book, so I read it after my mom. And this book right here is so good. And then it goes into what the book is actually about, which I'm not gonna read. But this book is, like I said, a psychological suspense. It's really good. This author, the way these 2 authors write are so good. Like, there's a lot of books I can't get into, and I'm gonna get into that book. I'm gonna tell you guys about the book that I bought from Target that I just could not read because of the way the author was writing. It didn't flow with me. So I'm gonna show you guys that one at the end. So this book, The Housemaid, is really, really good. And since this is not my third book that I read, but it's a sequel to The Housemaid, and this is The Housemade Secret. So I read this book. It's a thick chapter book as well. It's psychological suspense. And this book, I love this book. It's just as equal as the first one, but it has a lot, like, these books aren't predictable. I tell you that much. That's why I love these two authors, because their books have like a twist and turns and a lot of unsuspected things happen, and you can't predict it. Even when you think it's one thing, it's another. So I love the writing schemes of these authors as well. My mom, she's reading it. As you can see, she has a little bookmark. I gave her this bookmark. It's an elephant. So cute. But yeah, this book is super good as well. And then I'm going to read a little bit of it. It says, "Don't go in the guest bedroom. A shadow falls on Douglas Garrick's face as he touches the door with his fingertips. My wife, she's very ill. As he continues showing me their incredible penthouse apartment, I have a terrible feeling about the woman behind closed doors. But I can't risk losing this job, not if I want to keep my darkest secret safe." So yeah, so this one is the sequel to this one. So these are super good. All right, next book that I love. Oh my god, this book is so amazing, like super amazing, and it's Varity. This book was going viral on the internet, and I was like, everyone's reading this book, like I have to see what it's about. So I looked it up and I read about what it's about, and it sounded so good, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So when I bought it, I got it from Amazon, because they didn't have it in my Target here. I think they had one like far out, and I wasn't about to drive or get it delivered. I just ordered it from Amazon and got it the next day. So when I got this book, I immersed myself in here. I was reading this book like no other. Every chance I got, I read some of the book. And this book, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's a psychological suspense. And let's see. They don't have anything to read. This book is crazy. Like, after reading this book, well, during the whole process of me reading this book specifically, I was getting scared. Like, I was getting spooked out. Like, this book was creepy. It was suspenseful. It was a thriller. It was jaw-dropping. Like, when all these books actually are jaw-dropping, but this book was so weird. And then it had you thinking at the end, like, people, I already know people could be really crazy and really just unpredictable, but this author did her thing with this book and the characters involved, especially Varity. Varity is the character in this book. She did her one with that character. Like, she literally had me thinking, like, people are really crazy. They'll go to any extent, no matter what it is, when you just think it's so impossible, when no, they wouldn't do that. Yes, they can. And this book proved it. And although it is a fiction book, I just was like, so I don't know, it was just so crazy to know that someone could actually in real life do this, what she wrote. If you could write it down, it can happen, you know. So this book was really great. 10 out of 10, I highly recommend. That rhymes. 10 out of 10, I highly recommend. These next 3 books I have not read. So, well, actually, I'm gonna get into this book right here. This book I'm in the process of reading. I'm actually on chapter 4, I think. Chapter 5. So I just literally got this book a couple days ago, and I've been busy, so that's why I haven't been dropping videos, because I've been like really busy and just, you know, new beginnings before 2023 ends. So I'm so thankful, grateful, and blessed for everything that's been happening, and I just literally been busy. So every chance I get, I've been reading this book. The chapters in this book is really long, so like sometimes I'll read like half of the chapter and then I'll finish the rest of it. But I just started this a couple days ago, and I'm only on chapter 5. So far, it's really good. This one, not sure what kind of book this is. So far, it's just like a regular book. Like, nothing hasn't happened suspenseful yet, but it's keeping me engaged in the book. that's one thing I love about Colleen Hoover. She keeps you engaged in a book. Even if it takes a minute for something to happen, you're still wanting to see what's going to happen. You know, like I said, she's not predictable in her books. It's really good, and you could imagine everything from the characters to the setting of it to everything she's telling you in the book. Well, at least for me, that's how it is. But so far, like I said, this book nothing hasn't happened major, but it's keeping me engaged. And like I said, I'm on chapter 5, and yeah, so I'm still in the middle of reading this, so I might just update you guys on how the book turned out, if I liked it or not. But yeah, like I said, I just been so busy, and before 2023 is over with, I'm already in the start of new beginnings and new blessings, and like I said, I'm very grateful for that. So I'll let you guys know how this is. It's called Without Merit. These two books now I have not read. These two books. One's called Ugly Love, and then the other one is called November 9th. So these are both Colleen Hoover books, and she has actually merch, like clothing items that you can actually purchase for like certain books. She has Ugly Love merch, and it's so cute, y'all. Yeah, so I have not read this book. My mom, she's read it. So this is like a love story, my mom said. It's not, I don't think it's suspenseful. It's more of like a love story. And I kind of not in a rush. I'm not in a rush to read this book only because of that reason. It's a love story, and I want something suspenseful. Oh yes, it's an unforgettable love story that breaks all the rules. From #1 New York Times bestselling author Colleen Hoover. So yeah, I'm not really in a rush to read this. But if you read this book, comment down below. Let me know if you liked it. My mom says she kind of liked it, kind of didn't, because she likes the same type of books I like, and this just wasn't really on the edge of your seat. It was just like a one way, you know, just very stagnant. And this book is the same thing. It's a love story. It says November 9th is another breathtaking novel by Colleen Hoover that's full of blushing, gushing, and heartache. I loved every page and breathed in every beautiful word. So this is another love story, which I'm not in a rush to read. But if you read this book, comment down below. Let me know how you liked it. My mom, she read this book, and she literally said nothing really happened throughout the book. It was just like a story about two people falling in love or something like that. Until towards the end of the book, like she read like all these pages, and towards the end, that's when it kind of got good, but it was still on the love story type stuff. So if you like love stories, I recommend these books, although I have not read them yet. And one last book that's not from neither one of these authors is The Last to Vanish by Megan Miranda. And this book right here, it sounds so good reading what it's about. It's a thriller, suspense novel, and everything in between. It's like just, it says Miranda, it says it's eerie, edge of the earth location. It's supposed to be really, really good. But this book, I guess it's the author's writing technique that I just don't like. Or have I not given it a chance? Because I literally only started this book and I read till chapter 2. Only read the first chapter, literally. And it seemed like it was okay, but it wasn't flowing with me. I could not get into it, I guess you could say. And then so I ended up purchasing this book while I was reading this book, and I'm already on chapter 5 with this book. So I'm like, I might go back to this book, or I just might let my mom read it and tell me how she liked it, and then I could go back and read the rest of it. But I'm not gonna say I don't like it, because like I haven't really given it a chance. But it sounds like it's good. If any of you read this book, let me know how you liked it. It's called The Last to Vanish. It's about a kidnapping in like this old town. Like I think of several people went missing on this trail, and then the guy who actually is a journalist, I think he goes missing while he's trying to figure out what happened to the other people who vanish, and he goes missing himself, and like all this stuff happens. So it sounded like it was very good, but I couldn't really get into it. But yeah, so I might revisit this. I'm pretty sure I will. But I still have these two to read, and I have this one that I'm in the process of reading. But yeah, so those are all my books. Oh, and I want to show you my bookmarks. So I got these bookmarks. Oh, I have some more bookmarks as well. So I got these bookmarks, and I got one that's in this book right here. It says NASA on it. And then I have one that's in this book. It's a little dog. And my mom, she has some bookmarks of mine as well. Oh, you guys seen the elephant already. And there's another one. And these are like a rocket ship, an alien, and a UFO. And then like a whale, and then another elephant. So these right here, I got these from Target. They're so cute, so I always have to get new bookmarks when I get a new book or something. But they come like with 4 in a pack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 in a pack, so you're good, you know, unless you have a lot of books, then yeah. But that wraps up my video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope this helped everyone out there who was looking for book recommendations, or even if you're not looking for book recommendations, I highly suggest some of the books that I highly suggest all the books that I recommended for you guys and shows you guys on this video. So here's all the books here. And I know people who I put onto reading and they really love it. So if you're not a big reader out there, just give a couple of these books a try. Maybe you'll end up liking them. I hope so, because it could become a hobby for most people like me. I was like, what can I do for, you know, my spare time when I'm not really doing much? I highly suggest these two books, two main books that I recommend you guys. And then following the Colleen Hoover, Too Late, and then Varity as well. These two are really great as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Turn your post notifications on so you won't miss a single upload. And peace